That my problem with honestly with most of the Jordan shoes, other than the ones, is I found them way too heavy.
Doesn't live now, so he can cheat as much as he wants. Doesn't matter. He's still getting a bag.
Who gets an ace and doesn't win?
Michael Block.
Very true.
So what's poppin', Josh? What are we talking about today?
There's a few things on the docket. Why don't we start off with the Genesis Invitational?
I didn't watch it, to be honest.
I'm not gonna lie, I stopped after Tiger pulled out.
That's crazy.
Did you watch?
Pulled out. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. Crazy finish.
Yeah, Hideki won.
Hideki won.
Mm-hmm.
He came through like big time though, man. Like he had a few clutch iron shots at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That just sealed the deal.
Yeah, who was up there with him?
It was Zalatoris. It was Cantley. Scheffler was kind of there in the beginning, but then like tailed off in the end. But my money was on Zalatoris. Like he had an ace throughout the tournament. I'm like,
Oh, really?
who gets an ace and doesn't win?
Michael Block.
Very true. Very true.
It does help the scorecard, though.
Yeah.
He was up there.
Yeah. Hideki's round was like, he had a -9 throughout the day. No bogeys, all like birdies.
Oh, sick.
In the last day, he shot a -9.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and he ended up winning. So,
Need a little bit more TrackMan work to get up to there.
That's like a scramble cosplaying unreal.
yeah, legit.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, did you guys see the Jordan Speed thing? Because he's somebody I may or may not have had a couple bucks going into the tournament on him.
Right.
Yeah.
Along with Scheffler, along with Tiger at 50,000 to 1. Something stupid. Speed, he puts a wrong score down. I didn't actually see what happened.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
I didn't like witness it.
Yeah.
I've just been hearing things online.
Yeah.
But he got DQ'd.
For putting a birdie instead of a par, I think.
I think it was a par instead of a bogey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know when you hit a birdie.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like but I don't know the rules. Like
Well,
I know.
like, obviously you can't do that, but I think he caught it. But they still
It
disqualified
was
him.
too late.
Yeah.
Like he left the scoring area and then came back.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was hearing. Like there was an interview with Xander. And he's like, yeah, like Jordan wasn't feeling really well, so he did his score and then he ran to the bathroom, and then when he came back, it was wrong, and yeah, it was weird. I don't.
My thing is like that's part of your job, right? Like
Yeah.
when you finish a hole, you go put your score down.
You have to. I mean, lots of money's on the line.
Just
and
exactly.
one stroke can change everything.
Yeah. And I get it from the PGA side, upholding that integrity around scoring is pretty important.
Yeah.
It sucks, obviously, for the player. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're 2 rounds in, you're working your butt off to try and get in there and perform, and a simple error like that. But,
Yeah. It seemed like an honest error. Didn't seem like it was intentional.
yeah. What's the other guy's name? Justin Reed or Justin something?
In the tournament?
Or Patrick Reed?
Patrick Reed.
Oh,
Patrick Reed.
accused of-
Oh, yeah. He's in live now, so
yeah. Oh, yeah.
he can cheat as much as he wants. Doesn't matter. He's still getting a bag.
Yeah. Honestly. What else happened?
Well, Waste Management was the week before, so
Yeah.
we've had a couple weeks of fun golf tournaments. Because I think Genesis isn't that fun tournament as well. The Invitational only.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tiger being there was a big draw, but
For sure.
Waste Management, I know it was a couple weeks ago. You guys actually had a chance to go check out the Pro-Am on the Wednesday and go see TPC ahead of time.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that. Can you tell us and me and the community, like, what was that vibe like on the Wednesday heading into the tournament? And did it feel like everything we saw kind of online and on social kind of after?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a tease, to be honest. It was still busy. The course looks unreal. And I love when you walk in, you kind of get directed in multiple directions. Like you can go to a practice area. There's a couple of holes that you can go to all from the entrance.
No, cool.
So it's not really like, it doesn't funnel you through one way. But we went on the Pro-Am. It wasn't even nice weather-wise.
It was terrible.
It was cold. We got rained on like crazy.
Rain, hail, wind.
Yeah.
Like all of the above, man.
No one had umbrellas. Like no one had umbrellas.
Prepared for it.
Yeah.
No one was prepared. We weren't prepared, obviously. And
It got canceled.
then, it got canceled. The greens were flooded. So I wasn't surprised, and it was a pro-am.
Right.
But we did catch some of the players practicing, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then
Did you guys get to check out the grandstands at 16?
we went to the grandstands. They had like a celebrity shootout.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which
I only knew like 2 celebrities.
celebrities?
Yeah, a lot of them were, I don't know, like local radio hosts or
Yeah.
the owner of Whoop and stuff like that. So,
Right.
I mean, it was a fun atmosphere, but at the same time, it was just, we were just watching people like
Miss the green.
miss the green. And when they do hit the green, it's like, okay, cool, nice shot. But like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Right.
There was nothing to it.
I know. I mean, yeah, like it was, honestly, it was so electric, man. It was so cool. Like we got there pretty early. We're talking about like the 16th hole.
Yeah.
We got there early, so we kind of got like pretty good seats.
Yeah.
When you enter, they give you plastic cups because they know like people are throwing it on the field instead of like all these cans.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, I can only imagine, a Saturday,
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday, like how much that changes. Like you guys saw online, like people were rushing through.
Yeah.
It was like a stampede.
Well, I guess that's my follow-up question. Is like, did you guys think that this year, like I thought some of what I saw last year, I would put in the fun category and almost like a really cool, different, unique environment for the golfers. This one seemed like it might have gone a little overboard. As with anything, like once you have excess, like people will put it.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? Because to me, like the novelty of like the streakers, which Frank weren't even real streakers. Like if you're gonna be a real streaker, you got to show something that wouldn't typically be seen on a beach day. You know what I mean? Like
Totally, yeah.
But it went to another level. What did you guys think? Like, do you like that kind of like for a one-off tournament every year, or do you think it like? To me, it almost went too far. It took away from the golf itself a bit.
It was a madhouse. Like it,
Yeah.
it seemed like people were just out of control. But I don't mind that. I feel like waste management is that. They kind of like, you have these like golf tournaments throughout the year, and it's kind of very rare
Yeah.
to get that experience.
Right.
And I feel like that's the attraction of why people go there.
Yeah. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of control in the environment. I mean, you have guys that are just hammered, fights broke out, things like that can get out of hand and maybe uncomfortable for other people.
Yeah. It's dangerous at that point, right? You get ugly.
Yeah, but I mean, then at the flip side, I mean, yeah, it's a whole different energy.
Yeah.
You go there, but everyone's having fun. I think even the Canadian Open kind of had a little bit of that,
Right.
especially at St. George.
Right.
They had sort of their part 3 where people were cheering and banging on the
The hockey rink.
hockey rink.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah.
And I think that's what golf needs, at least having that as an option. And that's why a lot of people look forward to this tournament, right?
Yeah.
So a couple, this is leading to some couple good conversation points, but like, do you think part of what PGA is trying to do with stuff like the RBC Open, having a little bit more of that animation and a little bit more of that in-game experience for the crowd, do you think that's a side effect of the whole live thing, that PGA is trying to find more of these tournaments to stand out and have what I would consider like standout moments, or do you think this is just something that's organically coming into the game?
I mean, I would say like the waste management has always kind of had that
Yeah.
type of energy even before live even started.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I feel like they're embracing it to a certain extent. I heard actually that they want to tighten things up for waste management the following year because it got really out of hand this year.
Right.
Gosh.
But again, it's about finding that balance. But I think it's good for the game. It brings a lot of fans that are diehard golfers to be excited for these types of events.
Totally.
I personally would rather watch the waste management and the RBC Open as opposed to some of the other tournaments, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's interesting, man. Like, I I believe, the PGA is almost like they're under the gun,
Right.
you know, with Liv sort of like doing what they're doing. You know, they're poaching these players, and obviously the money's a big thing, but they're incorporating a lot of different games too, aren't they? Like, I mean, the atmosphere is so much different than, you know, a PGA event, other than like the waste management.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like the PGA is really feeling the pressure of Liv, especially, you know, that move after Rahm. And then now they're incorporating different games. There's like a 2v2 tournament going on with Liv.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And I feel like the PGA is missing out on these opportunities to grow the game, you know, to put it in a better place. Like, what do you think?
Yeah. I think it's like a direct counterbalance to what Liv's doing.
Yeah.
I think there's a direct correlation. And then to Jay's point, I think there's like an indirect as well, where like the game we see it all the time, right? And we talk about the game's getting younger. And so now you're just seeing those audiences actually come out to these events and realize they bring a different energy and a different vibe. You got to keep in mind, probably for a lot of like waste management attendees, as well as some of these like an RBC Open, there's a lot of first-time visitors to a golf tournament.
Totally.
Right? So people that aren't necessarily accustomed to like the traditions of going to these things, right? And like some of the protocols that are like the etiquette that goes with it.
Yeah.
And so I think Jay made a good point. Like that new wave of guests and people coming to like the viewers, the spectators are what's going to continue to make this game. And so it's like, can you embrace some of the fun without, I think he's like just not losing the full integrity of the game.
Totally.
Like Liv in certain elements has lost, I think, a little bit.
And what's like how?
Like
in what way?
To me, it was always like the 3-round thing, like the 54 holes.
I see.
Right? Like that's the starting point. Like imagine not having a Sunday red because there's no Sunday to play.
Yeah.
Right? Like that level of thinking to it, like that that fourth day is almost like those are the ones that really test your will.
Yeah.
And so I think right away for me that was like a big adjustment. But I do like the way they're embracing some of the more competitive, gamified types of golf.
Yeah.
Because that's things that the average weekend golfer can really kind of associate with.
Get down with. Yeah.
But it got me thinking, because I'm a big fan of all the TPC courses. When you guys went there, is it the fact that it is waste management there, where they treat it like a bit of a party course? Did it take away from the fact that would you guys want to play there as just a golfer?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the course looked unreal.
It did.
We didn't get to see all the course, obviously.
No.
But I mean, again, the layout was nice because, like, when I went to the U.S. Open, for example, it was so tight to get to other holes. There's roadblocks. You have to wait. You have to cross the fairway just to get to another hole. So the layout, I think, makes a big difference. But the one TBC Scottsdale, it felt like so spread out, and you can and just ways to get to the 16th hole easily.
Yeah.
Ways to get to the first hole. Ways to get to the 9th hole.
Organized.
So I love that, and I think the venue makes a big difference on that.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, it was toward the end of the day. And we ended up at the first hole.
Yeah.
And normally it's all gated, right? But then it was gated when I asked the guy, I was like, oh, can I take a picture? And I was standing on the first hole at the tips, like where they tee off. And I'm like, yeah, we could play here. We can do well. But it was just cool. Like, I felt like, all right, can I actually, let me swing here.
I would say the grandstand, like the 16th hole felt like a stadium.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, it was such a cool vibe.
Yeah, it was.
That you don't see at every tournament.
Yeah.
Right. Are you high up?
Yeah.
Like pretty high up?
Yeah, you're high up. It surrounds the entire hole.
Oh, sick.
You see people across, cheering. You feel like you're in a stadium.
Right.
Legit,
and
man.
it feels big.
Yeah.
It almost felt like, a small condensed baseball
game.
Stadium. Yeah, right. Like
exactly.
There's shit going on, but there's also people just having a good time.
Like, to me, that's so cool. Like, that's the stuff you miss, right? You don't get that at every tournament. Again, RBC Open, I think that's one that I've been to recently, where I feel like they had a little grandstand at one of the par threes, but it pales in comparison.
Yeah.
And so, do you guys see this coming into more tournaments, like having that type of environment?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. More user, For sure, I think so. It'd be silly not to.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it just.
Because of how the tournaments, I mean, it's so hard to watch all the golf,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you want to be in a fun environment. It's like going to like an F1 event, which I haven't gone to, but obviously you can't watch the entire race, but just the energy, the people cheering,
Right.
Being in the sun,
Yeah.
that all impacts the experience. And that's one thing I didn't love about the U.S. Open, which was in Boston, was there weren't really places to sit. They had like little stands that, again, it was just so small that it felt like you're just like at a small baseball game or something.
Right,
It didn't feel like you're at a major sporting event.
Yeah.
So I think having that, at every tournament could really help it.
Okay, yeah. So back to, I guess, even the Sunday Red, right? That was just released.
Yeah.
Would love, what do you guys think? Tell me what you think.
Go ahead.
Big smiles, big smiles.
So I actually didn't hate it as much as I think some of the Gen Pop hated it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that logo would grow on me over time. Like there's a brand in tennis called Slazenger, something like that, with a similar type of character. Like I feel like I've seen that logo a few times in different iterations.
Yeah.
It'll improve as it goes.
Yeah.
Overall, I was a little underwhelmed with the actual designs of everything. I thought TaylorMade should have made a better effort to take higher level product shots right from the get-go, because some of the details that I'm seeing after the fact are the things that I was missing at the press junket, where like some of these pieces have like really cool details on the trims, on the labels.
Yeah.
Our guy over at Landforce, Colin, keeps pointing out like the red line. I love that little touch on all the clothing.
Same.
My problem was like, because speed was obviously a factor, you can see down to the threads, and Jay and I have done a lot of product sourcing over the last year or so.
Yeah.
And so we've seen a lot of samples, like you could see down to the way the thread was put in there, that this was a rush job. It wasn't finesse. Like,
Really?
this is Tiger, right? This is a legacy brand you're trying to establish.
Totally.
I don't think you rush it necessarily, but I get it. Genesis was around the corner. They wanted him to be in that apparel for the weekend. I think the only thing that I would actually buy in that whole thing was the line that kind of looked like this color, like cashmere sweater.
Yeah.
The one that he was rocking at the interview.
Yeah.
Other than that, was it blown away? No. But the shoes looked a little janky.
Yeah, what'd you think of the logo? Like, what'd you think of the logo?
I mean, yeah, we talked about the logo before.
We did.
I think it'll grow on me, but when it comes to the line of clothing that was released, I didn't really see a hero product. It just seemed like they slapped the logo on a bunch of merchandise.
Yeah.
Like it felt like more like a merch line than a brand.
Interesting.
And when I look back at, like, for example, Jordan, like his first pair of shoes was the hero product, and then everything came in after.
Yeah.
The footwear didn't resonate at all. If anything, the one that we saw at the reveal, it looked like a orthotic shoe. That's like what a lot of people said, and I think that was a missed opportunity. I would have liked to see some more patterns involved as opposed to just throwing the logo.
Right.
With like tiger stripes.
Yeah. That was probably the first thing that like came to mind, or my first impression was like the print on some of the shirts.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
You like some of the,
Yeah, like the stripes. Yeah.
like the standard fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they incorporated that, because I was kind of paying homage to what he wore back in the day.
Yeah.
But again, it's an outdated design.
Yeah.
Again, going back to like Jordan, he has the elephant print, which is now iconic, right? I'd like to see Tiger have his own print that really stands out, and it's not necessarily have to be just a basic tiger stripe, but something unique about it. I think there's a lot of ways to kind of incorporate that. But yeah, it was underwhelming, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised. Like I was surprised to see that. I mean, when you look at Tiger, he's not really a style icon in any way.
I know.
So yeah, it is what it is. I think over time we'll see new stuff that might be more exciting, but I think just with the timeline of things, it did feel like a rush job.
I think, expectations were high. Like we're waiting on this logo, we're waiting for Tiger, and like, yeah, I didn't really love it either, but I don't know, like, when a company just nails something and you're just like, yeah, like that works. Like to me, that didn't give that feeling,
Yeah.
just like, there's something off, like what is it? I can't
Just even the
pinpoint.
font, just the small details. Like,
Yeah.
the font is like an Arial font or something.
Yeah.
They could have came out with their own unique font around that.
Yeah.
Just like piggyback off of a lot of these golf courses that just have these like really unique, well thought out logos.
Are there any, like, on the topic of logos, like, is there any that stand out to you, like, that are really good, like timeless logos, like Apple, for example? It's genius. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
But I wouldn't wear an Apple sweater.
no. Well, it's funny. Like, people wear like Kirkland shirts. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's smart. You're extending the brand.
Very small audience there.
Costco, they come in bulk, baby. It's a fucking bulk audience. TaylorMade, for example, their logo. If you were to just grab anyone off the street to like observe the logo, they're not going to even think that it's affiliated with golf. You know what I mean? Like Titleist, for example. Like, people aren't going to know. If you're not a golfer, you're not going to know that's affiliated with golf. Yeah. I think that's what a good logo and brand does. It's very timeless. People, they see it and they're like, oh, like that could work for almost anything. But now that I know it incorporated golf, like, it's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's a balance of both. Like, you could have the best logo in the world.
Yeah.
But if the company and the brand doesn't back it up, then it's worth nothing.
Right.
Right? Like, if Nike made shitty shoes, would you really want to rock the check? You know what I mean? Like, in general.
Totally.
And I think that kind of goes with everything. Like, and this is where I give TaylorMade, Sunday Red, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that logo over time is going to age much better because it's TaylorMade and because it's Tiger, as opposed to it being a dope logo. Because that's where I start thinking about, like, the Lacoste of the world, or like even the Puma logo. If you think about the Puma logo, it's a silhouette of a Puma that in today's day and age would be considered clip art.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it would be that. So to me, it's like, can the brand evolve and kind of like take on that logo and make it a thing?
I see.
And yeah, when I think of Sunday Red, I'm like, I'm gonna buy something because I love Tiger, right? But I'm a Tiger fanatic. I would consider myself that, especially as far as golfers go. He's easily my favorite golfer.
Yeah.
I'll probably buy something from the collection.
Yeah.
But when I think about that logo and that branding and what we saw as the initial offering, I don't think that's going to resonate with a bunch of golfers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I guess your original question, timeless logos, like, I love Titleist.
Yeah.
Jay and I have done actually quite a bit of like looking into logos, and as we develop new brands, we've talked about a lot of these things.
Yeah.
And I think some of those ones that just age really well, right? Like, Titleist is a really basic font. It's slightly dated, but they almost play into that, right? Like, they've actually since recreated the logo in a bit more of a traditional font, just cleaned up the aesthetic of it, and it's held the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of golf course logos just because they add so many elements to it that you already get the vibe of the course, right?
Interesting.
Especially the font, like Cabot, for example. Just the font alone.
Cabot.
Shout out to Cabot. Just like can stand on its own, right? And can be used in many different ways.
Yeah.
Sunday Red, the name even doesn't quite, I don't know, excite me.
Yeah.
Obviously it's probably been trademarked, but like it would have been cool if it just said Woods or something, something very simple. That doesn't rely on the color red even too. Now like, how do you put Sunday Red on a blue shirt, right? Without having elements of red on it. There's gonna always be an element of red.
As you said that,
it
gets me thinking, though. I bet you any money somebody in that boardroom looked at a brand like Off-White and was like, this is what we want to do. And I really think about that because, like, the red line, for example,
Yeah.
reminds me right away of like the orange strap.
Strap.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It gets me thinking about those kind of concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like that, like you could tell, you kind of alluded to it. Tiger's not fashion first.
Yeah.
He made things cool because he's such
Tiger.
an innovative golfer, right? So
Yeah.
had a lot of he had a lot of youth and a lot of no pun intended, a lot of color to the game. Both like his energy, his body, the way he approached the game, everything.
Yeah.
Right. And he was a person of color that quite literally I think helped bring Nike fully into the game.
Yeah.
And so he has somebody of that freaking caliber, that power, and that influence. If Sunday Red's the best we have to offer, I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity. To me, that's what this all boils down to. Is
Yeah.
let's make this fucking amazing, and it's okay. Yeah, it's cool.
Check his legacy.
No, I don't think it's quite that bad.
Okay.
No, not at all. No, Tiger's the GOAT. And obviously things evolve over time. Like you don't get it right out the gate. Yeah, I think we have to give it some time. It's still early.
Do we want to rate it?
Oh,
That's
It's a hot take.
it's easy for me. That's like a solid 3.7.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pretty it is a Tiger.
Yeah.
That's a 3.7 for me. Didn't quite cut it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. With it being Tiger's brand, I had higher expectations.
For sure.
So I'd give it like a 1.6.
Yeah, I'll go in the middle. I'll go 2.4. I think it's
Mine ended up being the highest.
safe to say it's
Because I'll be honest, there's nothing in that collection that I'd go out of my way to get.
I have to have.
I have to have it.
Yeah.
You
the
know?
only thing reeling me in is that it's Tiger.
100%.
Right? Yeah, not the aesthetic of the.
The shoes felt like such a huge mystery. Like that. His first shoe drop in so long, you could have made that thing amazing. You could have found go find a partner to work with to develop that replicate.
Yeah.
That just looked like a half-baked idea that they put together.
Yeah.
And then just slap the Tiger logo again at the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw like a meme. It was like Matsuyama winning, and it was like, oh, when is he gonna come out with Sunday Yellow? That's good.
That'd be good. His first sponsored athlete.
So funny. That's good.
Okay, so TaylorMade dropped Sunday Red, right? With that, which we collectively have just ranked as a bit of a miss.
Yeah.
They've had some really good feedback on the new driver and a few of the new clubs that are coming out. And I know you guys have had a chance to try out the QI10. And funny enough, at the Cobra event, I couldn't try a lefty dark speed, but I know you guys tried the dark speed. Any upcoming drops that you guys are excited about?
Well, first and foremost, yeah, the QI10. I have the Max with like a 50-gram stiff shaft. I don't really like it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's light. So, okay.
Is it the shaft or the shaft or the head?
I think, to give some context, I'm using a Rogue right now, an LS, 65 extra stiff shaft, and it feels completely different. The weight of it, it just feels a little more sturdy.
Can you just swap the shaft out?
I think you can, but I don't think I could swap it out with my curved shaft, which is weird. I think there's different attachments that you need to make.
Yeah.
But that's my review on the QI.
I mean,
it's pretty accurate, but still.
Yeah. Have you ever got fitted to a driver?
Yeah, that's the one I have. I got fitted for.
Yeah. So the shaft makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
It feels like a completely different club.
Yeah.
But I heard a lot of great things about the QI10. It's forgiving. Matt Kang chose that over some of the other brands
Oh, really?
he was testing out.
Yeah.
At his level, I think he's at a level where those small details matter. So
Yeah, it's funny, man. I think the Max is the most forgiving. If you're a higher handicapper, they suggest the LS, which I think is more, you could do more with it, the flexibility. So I don't know if that's a fair review because it's not my specs. You know what I mean? It's almost like a stock drive for me.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, so just give it to me then. It's just sitting there.
Yeah. I'm trying to love it, really. But it's funny because you're getting fitted in a couple weeks. Like, that should be fun. You know?
Yeah, we should schedule that.
Yeah.
I'm playing the Stealth too.
Yeah.
I switched up to Shaft too, and honestly, it works really well for me. It's funny because once I started using other drivers just to test it out, the sound almost like startles me when I hit it.
Yeah.
If it's not the Stealth phase.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of used to more of that dampened sound now.
Right.
But yeah, the Cobra driver, when I hit that I felt really good.
Yeah.
And you could hear when you hit a good shot.
Yeah.
Like I had a few that felt really good.
Yeah.
It definitely helps the mental game. Like, if you hear that and you're like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
It gives you confidence for sure.
Yeah.
What was your other question?
Oh, just any other new clubs that you guys are...
Drops.
Yeah, any new drops or
I
clubs?
mean, the Srixon clubs. We got.
How are the new...
First new set of irons in about 7 years.
Yeah, what'd you have before?
So I was playing the Nike Vapors. Cool clubs. Like, I love those things.
Yeah.
But graphite shaft, super light. I have a bit of a more aggressive swing speed or swing style. So I think the steel shafts have made like a huge difference. But I went with the Mark II 7s. I fucked up a little bit because about a week after I got them, they dropped the new blacked out, smoked out 7s, which look beautiful.
They look sick.
But just at address, they feel amazing. My thing is with the driver, I'm still rocking the SimTube Dents. So as we talk to more brands, and we get to test out more lefty clubs, they're kind of hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I've been having more conversations about like the QI10 versus the Dark Speed versus like,
I see.
I know the Paradigm had a lot of good feedback originally. Hearing some good things about the 430 10K, the Ping.
Yeah.
So just debating on like what to try out next.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Srixon. They set us up, and Jay, I know you got the Mark 5 or the Mark II 5s.
Yeah.
You're still on the fence about those, but the 7s, honestly, like it's added an extra 10 or 12 yards per club right now for me.
And you've had them for like a month and a bit, a couple months?
Yeah.
Or not even
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I got to bring those out to Scottsdale with us.
Yeah.
I got 3 rounds while we were out there, so like got a few good outdoor reps with those.
Yeah.
Now it's just more about getting that flow here at pace and just putting some reps in with it.
Yeah.
Like, could you go to Modern, for example, and like get those like customly fit to?
That's been some of the feedback I've gotten that I think I need to do. I've never done a fitting.
Oh wow.
Ever for any club.
Yeah.
And so I think it'd be a cool experience to take the heads from that now, go find maybe a touch lighter shaft.
Because what do you have on it now?
They're 120s, I think.
Oh, okay.
And a couple of people have recommended maybe dropping those a little bit.
Yeah.
But my big thing is really, and with those, the heads are kind of heavy as well already, so a little lighter shaft might be okay.
Yeah. How do your clubs feel? Like yours?
I wish I did more research before we got it. Aash was kind of just texting me. He's like, "Hey, what do you want? What do you want?" So I just did like a Google search, but like, what's good? Like I did like a quick review of the difference.
Right.
But now that I see it in my hand, the head does feel a bit bulky. My yardages have gone up, but like almost not in a good way. Now,
They're juiced up a little bit.
Juiced up.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have less control. So yeah, I'm still adjusting. I haven't really given it a fair shot yet.
Yeah.
But I might need to switch those over to those.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we'll see.
We can cut this out, but I think the main reason Jay mentioned my clubs earlier was like, I played the last 2.5 years. Like him and I collectively have played like 120 rounds each.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing the last 2.5 seasons with no 9-iron, no 6-iron or broken 6-iron,
Yeah.
and a replacement 5-iron,
Yeah.
no pitching wedge.
Oh my God.
And so now to have a full bag from
Yeah.
pitching wedge to 4-iron is a very big luxury.
Yeah.
So this morning I was actually taking reps with my pitching wedge because I haven't swung one in almost 3 years.
Oh my God, man. And it's such a crucial club.
Oh,
It's one of my favorites in the bag.
Yeah, you don't realize how much you need it, and then how many times I was either like trying to imagine always letting up on a 9-iron or choking up and letting up on a 9-iron, or trying to really extend an approach shot.
Yeah.
Like, again, we're not
Recipe.
we're not professional enough to that off. Yeah.
Well, pros have a full set. So it's not normal.
I mean, is there any drops that you guys are looking forward to, like equipment wise, other than?
I mean, I guess we could talk about like the apparel side, but the Jordan 9s are coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's a big drop because honestly, the past, I don't know, year and a half, like they ran with the Jordan 1s for a really long time. Yeah. And it got stale pretty quickly. It wasn't limited in any way. Some of the colorways that came out were just not it. So the 9s are coming out. They dropped the 9s back in 2016, a couple colorways. And they started off with the Space Jams, which is like an iconic silhouette.
Let me check these out. The 9s.
So one thing though, and they did it with the 6s, is that they really try to push the colorways a little too aggressively, where they're trying to not use classic colorways.
Yeah, which just feels like a missed opportunity. Yeah.
Just go with the OGs.
Yeah. And I think that's why the Chicagos still stand out when you see the Jordan 1s, because that was a silhouette and the colorway that everybody like. That's iconic. Yeah, and it transcends just being like a golf shoe.
Exactly.
Right, like that's where it goes into fashion and that hype side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That my problem with honestly with most of the Jordan shoes, other than the 1s, is I found them way too heavy. Like I find them very bulky. Like I love the 4, like just to rock on an everyday, like casually.
Yeah.
But I found them like when I was trying to rock the 4 on a course, that thing is just so heavy and it feels like just bulky on my foot.
Yeah.
Do you guys play with Jordans typically, or like are you used to it, or you just don't care?
Are these up?
I think that's a different colorway.
Oh,
but or is that the one?
That was the one that first came out. But the sole looks different. So that was like, it's called the free sole. So they have that on the Tiger Woods, and so it was a good sole. It was a little bulky, but
that doesn't look
the
that
new
bad.
ones that are coming out though. It looks completely different.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how good it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the wearing Jordans, I do wear it on occasion, but it's not my go-to, only because they're not that comfortable. But I did find that I had some really good rounds with them.
Oh yeah.
It kind of helps with my stability.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny.
Yeah. Also, sometimes I don't dress in a way that would fit that pair too, right?
J's, yeah.
Like I'd rather wear the J's when I'm wearing like a bunch of layers. But if I'm wearing shorts and a polo, like having it tucked in, it kind of looks a little funny.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's so funny. So are you a superstitious athlete? Would you say?
Not really.
No. But if something works well for you, like you're gonna like ride with that.
Well, when it comes to footwear, if I feel like I have a good round, I feel like the footwear does play a part in it.
Right.
You know?
No, for sure.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
Like, are you like, for example, I'll wear like a glove, and if I play well in it, I'm always wearing this glove. But if I don't play well with it, I'm like, maybe it's the glove. You know, I change it out.
I do that with the ball sometimes. Normally, a Pro V works best for me.
But are you?
Not really. Like I have my preferences, like ball wise, whatever, kicks wise. My thing is like the kicks for the day. So like having the right cleat, like a soft spike versus a real spike for the different like environment that we're playing.
Totally.
Like I do find when we play nicer courses, I tend to wear my more professional golf shoes.
Yeah.
Like knowing that almost like I'm gonna go into a bit more of a challenge, so I need to have these. But it got me thinking as you guys were talking, are there any kicks that you guys have that you like just will refuse to wear on course, like that have been reserved for like the case, you know what I mean? Like for the home case?
Yeah, I was just looking at what I have recently.
Like golf shoes, yeah?
Trying to sell some of them. But no, I'm glad I held on to some of these, like the Jordan 11s.
Yeah.
I have the white and it's kind of like a gold brownish sole.
Right.
I never even thought about wearing those on a course because they're just pure white.
Yeah.
And holding on to them now, they're like going triple what I bought them for.
Right.
I have like the Cement 4s. Again, a classic colorway.
Yeah.
There's certain ones, and then some of the Masters ones too, right?
Yeah.
Tied to the course.
Yeah.
There are some that I have broken in at a course, and I mean they're all right.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
their job.
It doesn't like stand out to me. I think it's all preference too. Like I had the ones, the all whites, and like it didn't fit me properly. I found that it wasn't really waterproof, and like it got in my head. I was like, man, screw these shoes. I'm done with these. I do like more of a tighter fit.
Yeah.
I like the Golfheadz, the FootJoys. Like it's just I feel more balanced, and like really nothing's on my foot, and it feels really good. But and then like I don't really have a lot of golf shoes, man. Like I think I owned maybe one pair like Nikes that I bought at Winners.
No. Yeah.
And then like I'm not really like a shoe collector like that. Even though like the Jordans are very appealing, and like I just love to get maybe the ones because they are iconic.
Yeah.
But none that I have in the case, man.
No. Yeah.
You?
I got one pair. I mean, now two, like the TW13s, the Masters ones. I don't think I'll rock those on course. I'll probably keep those. Maybe one day if I meet Tiger, I'll get him to sign those. And then the other ones I've held on to, I haven't touched, are the 97s, the silver bullets. I love the 97 silhouette as a shoe in general.
Yeah.
And but it's the same thing. Like that's a heavy shoe that I actually don't see myself rocking those on course. Yeah. But like the bullets were like silver with red, like a red line going through it as one of the rows. Yeah. They just look
sick.
They're pretty.
Yeah, a classic colorway.
Exactly. Yeah.
I heard they're mad uncomfortable.
Like
really?
you just rocking them around the house. I'm like, I can't wear these out there.
Yeah. We'll get you some more shoes.
Yeah.
But you got the TWs.
I got the T-dubs for sure. And that's what's funny, like I love Tiger, but I don't know if I would rock those, to be honest, on the course.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's my style, my steez, like.
Yeah. I think really like the green. I don't love it.
Yeah.
It just seems like very blocky.
Yeah.
If you hold on to those, in value.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. You got to get some more kicks.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't until like Jay and I connected that I started trying other brands too, because I've always been a big proponent of Nike, as you guys know.
Yeah.
And for the most part, like I was rocking the Infinity Pros, and like I really like those, like the wider cleats. With Golfheadz, having tried a bunch of the Adidas kicks now, like those, I still love playing with those. What are they called? The ZG23s or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The blue and white ones that we got.
Yeah.
They're just a really good performance shoe. Whereas like I tried Echo for the first time, I got those bio domes or whatever. Could not wear those for the life of me. I felt like they were just bulky. They felt like really heavy on my feet.
Totally.
And so like Adidas, for example, I would have never tried those shoes. Ultra Boost, all of those, I find them super comfortable.
Yeah.
The Sambas, I think it's just a matter of like getting exposed to some of these new brands.
Yeah.
I think this coming season, though, I've never tried a traditional golf shoe.
Right.
Like the traditional silhouette.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe I'll grab a pair of those this summer and try those out.
When it comes to a golf shoe, like what's number one on your list?
Oh, for me, it's comfort. Like I think waterproof's another big thing because we play a lot, and we'll play in all seasons, all weather types. So I think the waterproof is big, but for me, it's comfort first. Like even before looks, anything else, I got to picture myself actually rocking these for 18 holes.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're out there on your feet, even if you're in a car, you're on your feet for 4 hours at a time.
Totally, yeah.
So yeah, I leave it for
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only like two styles that I would wear. It's like more the classic silhouette, like the G4 and TaylorMade. Gallivanters, I believe.
Yeah.
I really love that shoe because there's a lot of details that you don't see that make the shoe amazing. Like that, the insoles has these like weird waves that just add like this like almost massaging effect to the sole of your foot.
Yeah.
And then I'll resort back to more of the running shoes like the Puma pair, the Jordans.
Yeah.
But I do like more spiked
shoes
than the non-spiked.
right.
I think non-spikes is more for just casual rounds where I don't really care.
Scrambles, like
Scrambles, stuff like that.
So true.
You know, knowing that I'll probably go out afterwards, like I don't have to, I just wear it to the course and leave with them.
Right.
Yeah. Like metal spikes?
I haven't. No.
I haven't either. I see it like on TV.
Yeah.
You hear guys like walking, and it's like,
Yeah. The click clack.
I think like courses hate that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the metal spikes because
Yeah.
it does damage to. Yeah, that's
damage.
free aeration, man.
Aerated greens for free.
Yeah. Would you mind taking a walk to the left?
Yeah.
Instead of the green tee?
All right, boys. Well, we're sitting at 50 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot
Yeah.
of shit, but
It's pretty good.
we could even split this up into 2 pods because I do want to talk about like the indoor facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's an own episode, man. Like I think you guys could really dive into that, like the nitty gritty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't hate because I thought we did a good job of really focusing on golf related stuff today.
Yeah.
We did.
If this snips out into like a 30 to 35 minute pod, but it's like heavily concentrated around this like more targeted content.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a pretty good listen. Like, kind of get in and out.
Yeah.
It might just be a quick rip.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, I better go be that.
All right. Happy family day to everyone out there. Love y'all. Bye.